Oyi is pregnant for Abe, a boy she loves, but her father doesn't want her anywhere near him. When her father hears about her pregnancy, he gets so mad he threatens to send her away from the village to abort the pregnancy, and she'll never return. He locks her up and tells her brother to look after her while he goes to find Abe with a machete. They live in Nembe community, a once peaceful and fruitful community turned into a wasteland because of the oil spillage, which has caused a major problem for its inhabitants. So the youth of the community protest, causing serious issues between the police and the community, some leading to death. Boma and Debe, some youths in the community, specifically took it upon themselves to restore order, but ended up killing an officer. But this story is neither about the oil spillage nor the community. It's actually about 6 young people who have no idea the horrors that await them as fate brings them together. Olotu and Tekena are brothers from a neighboring village. They're about to embark on a journey to the white man's land. Their mother blesses them just before they leave. Meanwhile, Onyin's father just missed Abe along the way. He heads to his house to find him, while Abe goes over to his to see Onyin. Onyin informs Abe of her father's plans to send her away, so Abe finds a way to get her out of the house. Luckily, her brother, who's meant to keep watch over her, didn't hear a thing because of the noise coming from his cranky old sewing machine. While they try to escape, the police invades the community of Nembe, arresting people over the loss of their comrade, which Debe and Boma are responsible for. So Abe, Onyi, Boma, Debe with Olotu and Tekena, who were just passing by, all run to hide in an abandoned shipyard. The policemen soon gave up their search but kept patrolling the village. But back at the station, Onyin's father was also arrested. They ask if he knows Boma and Debe, as the police believe they are responsible for the death of their officer. Onyin's father takes the opportunity to pin it on Abe as the leader of the gang. He takes officers to Abe's house but couldn't find him there. Later that night at the dock, they all come out of hiding to find their way home. Onyin asks why the police want to arrest them. Abe replies it's because some youths killed an officer and he believes it to be Boma and Debe. Debe warns him not to mention their names again, claiming they did it for the good of the community. Soon after, they run into some officers patrolling the area, and so they run again and hide. Abe's mom, frightened for her son, sends his sister to find him and informs him to flee or else the police will kill him. Olotu lost his phone and has no way to contact Mr. Pere, who promised to get him passage on a ship going to the US. Boma seems to know the guy he's talking about but refuses to tell him anything until Olotu tells them why he wants to see Mr. P, as he's popularly known. Olotu explains they're about to leave the country on a ship. Seeing they all have nothing to go back to except prison, they all decide to join Olotu and Tekena to elope. They contribute money and give to Olotu, who pays Mr. P to get all of them aboard ship. Mr. P hides them in a little vessel on the ship, promising to come with meals once a day for them, but none of them is permitted to come out until he says so. Just before takeoff, Mr. P gets sick, so the owner, Mr. Igor, tells him to get off the ship. They soon set sail, but just off the coast of Accra, their ship is stopped by the Navy, and despite Igor's effort to bribe the officer, their boat is held until he can provide receipts for the cargo they are exporting. Boma and the others started getting worried since the ship has stopped. They spin a bottle to choose who will go out and check why the ship stopped. The bottle lands on Tekena, but Olotu won't let him go. Just as he's about going out, the ship starts moving again. Igor managed to pull some strings in high places, which got him cleared. Later that night, while Igor and friends drink and make merry, the young Nigerians were entertained by Onyin's stories. She thinks back to a time her grandmother told her about her birth. She's a child gifted by a river goddess to her family, and as a way of sacrifice, she must live without a man, never marry, nor fall in love, or she'll die. That's why her father fought to keep her away from Abe. Degbe wakes up frightened by a nightmare in the middle of the night and decides to go search for food, as there has been no sign of Mr. Pere and their tummies were rumbling. The others wished him luck, and luckily he finds his way to the kitchen and starts eating. Unfortunately, someone sees him and he gets caught. Igor and his company gives him food and he chugs it down. Meanwhile, Abe decides to go out as well and find medicine for Onyin, who is down with a fever. Mr. Igor asks Debe how he got on his ship, and he responds they paid Mr. P. So Igor asks that he takes him to the others. They're all brought out of hiding except Abe, who went in search of medicine. Degbe tells them to relax and eat and tell the man whatever he asks. Igor asks the rest of them how they got on board and they all respond they paid Mr. P for passage. So Igor calls Mr. P to confirm, but he lies that he has no idea who they are, which makes Igor believe them to be spies. He shoots Degbe when they start arguing amongst themselves and takes the others hostage. As the ship got to another checkpoint, officers there found the hostages on the boat. Just when they thought their messiah had showed up, they were left behind. The officers took a bribe and left them there. Boma takes matters into his hands, holding a knife to a lady's throat while he tries to strike a bargain with Igor. Meanwhile, Abe has been watching everything since last night. Unknown to Boma, one of Igor's men was at his back about to shoot. Luckily, Abe intervened and the gunshot went off target. But Boma mistakenly slit the lady's throat out of fright, which made Igor very angry. The lady was his sister, so Boma is taken to the slaughter room where Igor skins him alive. Some of his men try to reason with him that maybe they aren't spies after all, but he doesn't care. He tells them to search the ship for the other person, which is Abe. Olotu and Tekena are up next. Igor tells them the only way they will get off his ship is if they fight to the death. Only one of them gets to live. Olotu says he won't fight his brother for their entertainment, so Igor orders his men to kill them both. Tekena, out of fright, decides he'll fight. His brother could not believe his ears. Meanwhile, Abe is found by one of Igor's men as he fights for his life. Luckily, he stabs the man before he's choked to death. Olotu refuses to fight his brother still, despite being stronger than him. He pins him down and throws away the knife. Tekena picks up the knife and holds it to his throat, but finds it difficult to kill his brothers. They hug it out and decide not to fight. Igor still insists they fight or he's gonna kill them both, so Olotu tells him to keep his promise to his brother and kills himself instead. But Igor shoots Tekena afterwards and throws him overboard. By morning, Abe finds Oyin but couldn't get her out on time as Igor's men came to take her. Abe finds the captain of the ship who was also tied up for protesting against the killings. While he unties him over the transponder, Igor tells Oyin to tell Abe to come out of hiding or she dies. He gives him till the count of 10. Abe, left with no choice, comes out and surrenders. Igor says he can't get away and not after all he's done, as Abe has killed most of his men. So when he realizes that Abe and Oyin are lovers, he shoots Oyin in the head while Abe is taken to the slaughter room to be beaten to death. But Boma intervenes and kills the man. He was barely alive. He tells Abe to fight just before he gives up the ghost. Abe kills the last of Igor's men and finds somewhere to hide where he faints. Igor finds him and takes him back to the slaughter room and prepares to skin him alive. Laying there, Abe remembers Oyin and Boma's last words, so before Igor turns around, he's gone. He outsmarts Igor and shoots him in the head just as he did Oyin. The captain helps him dispose of their bodies. Meanwhile, he finds a stack of cash on the ship and decides to take it back home. He visits the parents of the deceased to inform them of their children's death and leaves them with part of the money he found. To his greatest surprise, somehow Tekena survived and found his way home, but he lost a leg. Elders of the community helped Abe break the news to Oyin's father, who was ready to pounce on him the moment he saw him. Days later, Abe decides to move to Lagos and start his life all over. Meanwhile, Oyin's father purchases a gun to go shoot him, but once again he misses Abe as the taxi leaves on his arrival. The end. What are your thoughts on this movie? Let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Tune in for more movie moments.